On today's episode of Slab Reveals, we will be showing 10 new cards we got back from grading and also recapping which cards made us hundreds of dollars and which cards lost us multiple hundreds of dollars over the last few episodes. One of the cards we got back also got absolutely destroyed on the grade, so be sure to check it out and see why it happened in this episode of Slab Reveals. Before jumping into the submission we just got back, let's look at last submission we did, episode number 2. As you all remember, we talked about the sales from the previous 40 cards we got back, and then looked at the new submission we got to reveal, look at the projected sales, all that stuff. And now we have some sales that did happen from the episode previously. So we're looking at about, 9 sales here that occurred. The cards we submitted, some good, some bad, and we're going to rank it here by profit from greatest loss to biggest gain. So first off, we're looking at is the 2017 Contenders Rookie Auto numbered off 125 SGC 9 Donovan Mitchell. All these cards were sold through the PWCC Weekly Auction. For reference, so when it says actual sale, that is our seller net, that is after fees. Came out to $281. Now this one was sold as the Jazz were not doing very well in their series against the Mavericks. Terrible timing on the sale. Should have sold it before the playoffs. Did not. So I ended up taking a $249 loss on that one. And then also the other two were NBA cards as well. It was a Kobe, the 97 Star Power Plus that got an 8.5, and the LeBron that got an 8.5. They just didn't grade as well as I was hoping for, leading to inevitable losses, as I was paying pretty high on the raw cards because I thought that they were going to grade well. They didn't. Ended up at $230 in losses off of that. Tyler Hero, the SGC 9.5 10 auto sold for $135. That's another $45 loss. But we did have some decent gains here to help make up for it, as the Ja Morant 2019 Prism Green SGC 9.5 made $10 in profit. Woohoo. Steven Stamkos 2012 Fleer Retro, the PMG SGC 8. This I was hoping it'd sell for a little bit more than 172 seller net, but it is just the red out of 100. You'll see later a card that we just got back that is actually another Steven Stamkos PMG. But this one here got an 8, and it ended up making $43 in profit. Bryce Harper SGC 9.5 X Fractor. That was a good buy and sale right there. That was kind of with the MLB preseason hype coming. $78 in profit. The Cristiano Ronaldo Silver Frame Auto Odd 25 SGC 9.5 10. Those of you that remember, I got this one in England. Ended up selling that one $17.50 for $110 in profit. That one actually wasn't sold through PWCC. And then right here, actually, I just forgot that this was not revealed in this upcoming episode. It's right here, the Steven Stamkos Blue out of 50 PMG SGC 8.5 top grade. Just sold actually on Sunday night. This previously Sunday night's weekly auction. It went for over $600. It's $690, but after fees ended up being $598 for $318 in profit, 113% ROI. That definitely helped out this episode 2 quite a bit. These other 5 have not been sold yet. The Adiemi will be sold at some point here. The Valtteri Bottas will be sold at some point here. The Nick Suzuki's probably won't be sold anytime soon. As I explained, those were in my brother's collection in the previous video. So SGC episode number 2 ended up at $280. Sorry, not $280. $28.46 in profit. I was going to say that doesn't make any sense. For a 1.86 ROI percent. So clearly those 3 NBA cards right there, the Mitchell, the Kobe, and the LeBron, hurt quite bad. I've learned my lesson when paying premiums on raw cards at some of these shows, the NBA ones. It didn't pan out for a lot of them. The Giannis did well from the previous episode. The autograph, National Treasures, the LeBron Fleer EX rookie did terrible. Got the SGC 7. That was a massive stinker dud. These didn't do well either. I'm going to stick to my buying some baseball and some soccer and some hockey and some F1, I think, and grading those for now. So basketball can work. I think it just has to be pretty selective, and clearly if you just don't get the good grades, it just doesn't work out. This Donovan Mitchell also didn't have a 10 autograph, which I think hurt. There was some streaking in the autograph through the foil border on the card, so that definitely didn't do well either. And then the 8.5s, didn't get good grades, so they didn't so well. But that's what we got for episode number 3. Now let's look at the submission we sent out for episode, that was for episode number 2, this recap right here. Let's look at the submission for episode 3 right now and see how long it took for the submission to come back. As you can see here, we got our 10 cards we just submitted that we'll show you in a little bit here. And we submitted those on April 10th, received at SGC on April 13th. By April 29th, they were graded. And that is a 14-day turnaround around there. But keep in mind, for this episode, we did have them review the Andrei Vasilevsky from episode number 1, where it came back in SGC Authentic. I contacted the SGC team. I talked to someone else who also submits to the SGC that said that their 2020 PMGs from Metal Universe Hockey were getting authentics, and there's a chance that the size actually just was smaller on them, released by Upper Deck. So they took a relook at it, might have added an extra day on it, and you'll see in this submission reveal right now if we get a numerical grade or if they say SGC Authentic. So check it out, and let's see what we get in this slab reveal number 3. Here we go. Time to open the package, get the submission revealed. I am so excited to see what is in here. Let's slice in the package and see what we get. We've got the 10 card tuxedo time order here. There's actually some nice cards in here, some pretty big ones that I remember that we sent off, and we'll see what it is. Some of these cards will be sold, some of them won't be sold. We'll just have to make some decisions after the fact, and of course we'll review all the numbers too on the potential sales after grading. So we're going to have our first card coming out here. There should be like an invoice. Oh, wait, that's the back. We'll flip it around here. There will be an invoice on the front here, and then we should see our very first grade. I don't know which card's going to come out first, but let's see. Oh, it is. It's the Bobby Portis. So I actually just got done watching the Bucks take an L in Game 2, which is kind of sad. But Bobby Portis, this is the championship tag SGC 8.5. No 10 auto, because it is not a 10 autograph. I didn't get a 10 up there. And they only give auto grades if it is a 10 on the SGC slabs. But super sick. Love that card. Number 1 out of 5. All right, second card here. Nate's got a nice one here, obviously. And we'll see when that one comes. But I hope I can give him a call, and he's going to be excited after. So next one is a Kai Havertz, another thick card. Let's see if we can pull a 9.5. It does. It pulls the 9.5. Okay, we'll take that. That's super nice, actually. SGC 9.5, 60 out of 65. After that, we've got the purple. This is the Poucher. 9.5, 9.5. Not bad. We'll take it. 10's hard to get, but 9.5s, they do pull decent value, and it definitely helps, getting that grade between the 9. Next one is a Pierre Gasly. It is an orange out of 25. It's not the portrait. It's a headshot. And it gets a 9.5 as well. There we go. So 2 9.5s in a row. That one is numbered out of 25. That's a beauty of a card right there. And then our next card up, let's see if it's going to be the Blue Wave Auto. It's not. It's the Shea Prism Gold. I hope that this is a 9. If it's a 9.5, I'll be even happier, but the centering is pretty off top to bottom, as you can see. It does hit the 8.5, so that was the one worry, is that the centering would be, bad enough to make it 9/9, so that one is not going to probably pan out as much as I was hoping for, but still a beautiful card, Prism Gold out of 10. Hard to ignore, but man, 8.5 isn't gonna help it. But this one is pretty nice. Here's an Esteban Ocon Gold Sapphire Variation out of 50. Hits a 9.5. There we go. 9.5 in the Ocon Gold Variation out of 50. Tough grades on those with the Classic Sapphire numbered, having some pretty tough edges on the back. Next up is a Hamilton. This one I'm definitely expecting like a 9. And it gets a 9. So I got what I was expecting. Hamilton Refractor. This is the one I bought in Vegas for way too much, and decided to get graded to see what was up. And it gets a 9, so not too bad right there. Next card is a PMG. So we had 2 PMG greens that went in here. This is from the Metal Universe hockey set. This is the dry sale right here. These are very tough grades. And if you remember when we did the last video, or 2 videos ago, the Andrei Vasilevsky came back as an SGC Authentic because it got the minimum size requirement, so it didn't technically meet the size requirement. However, the dry sale also is like the exact same type of thing. Talked to another person who was subbing these to SGC, and they also said the size thing. So I sent it back, asked them to recheck the sizing, see if it was just standard across all of them. And I believe that we should have some numerical grades here, which means it's not authentic, and it actually does get a grade and an 8 on the dry sale. That is not bad at all. I'm very happy about that. SGC 8 on the Leon, numbered out of 100, but the first 10 are green, so it's 4 out of 10. And then we've got the Vasilevsky right after that. Let's see if it can be an 8. It gets an 8.5, so it does beat the 8. Beats the 8. The Vasilevsky is an 8.5 near mint plus. And our last card, this is it for Nate. This is the Blue Wave. Jordan Lawler auto. Can we get an SGC 1010 or a 9510? He's been playing amazing. And, man, a 9510 would make my night. 10 on the auto. A 6? What? That definitely does not make my night. What happened here? SGC 6. Oh, man, that's definitely one of the worst grades I've ever gotten, especially on a modern card. I don't know, man. I'm looking at the back here. It kind of looks like that maybe there's an imprint on the back here that I missed. I don't know if you can see it through the case. I don't doubt that they can find something. Of course, they're, for what I see normally on cards, they line up pretty well, and all that kind of hit expectations, what was just had. But this is definitely unexpected. Definitely unexpected. A 6 out of 10 on the Jordan Lawler. So Nate is not going to like this phone call. He's probably going to think I'm joking when I call him. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to see, but my best guess is that there's like some imprints on the back here or something. It's kind of hard to tell. Like, you really have to hit in the light just absolutely perfectly, because the corners to me look pretty decent all the way around. This one maybe would have made it like a 9.5 or a 9. Now I'm looking at it a little closer too, but the front centering was really good, or at least in my mind. Maybe a little off top to bottom. I guess, yeah, I mean, the left to right looks pretty good to me. I don't know if my eyes is bad right now, but I'll tell you what, it probably wasn't great if it got a 6. Holy smokes, it's not good. That is not good. Wow. Well, overall, it was like kind of as expected. I'm happy that these two got numerical grades after not making the requirement at first. And looking back at the rest of them, I mean, it turned out pretty nice. I mean, a lot of 9.5s and stuff, which were nice, but there's no 10s in this submission. The one that also didn't work out too well was the 8.5 on the Shea Gold. But what can you do? I mean, that's the risk you take when grading cards. Not all of it's going to work out. And sometimes you end up with Jordan Lawler 6s. But that was it for the submission reveal. Now let's move on and see how this is going to pan out on the profit and loss. I can guarantee this one's going to hurt bad at the end of it. So here is the new breakdown on the slabs we just revealed, and in this reveal we were not able to include the first Lewis Hamilton on this list because that I sent off in a one-off $40 submission. That one's pretty quick and got back, and now it got sold as a Sunday night, this past Sunday night on the PWCC Weekly Auction. It did absolutely fantastic, blew all expectations out of the water, and sold for $1,140 after seller fees. So I was super psyched about that. End up in $720 in profit. That's by far the biggest profit sale out of all these that we talked about today in the episode, and it helped a ton. I'll tell you that much. It helped recover from those basketball cards we lost on in the last card I'll talk about in this specific submission as well. But that's 171% ROI. Now it says actual/projected sale there because that is the only sale we've actually cashed so far on this new submission reveal. The rest of these have not sold yet. But the Esteban Ocon, I got a great buy on that. That was like a year ago of, right when Sapphire Formula 1 releases, $107. He's racing really well this year. Projected sale, I'm putting around $500. It's an SGC 9.5. PSA 9 sold for above that, but just want to be conservative here, right? Like, this might sell for a lot more than $500. It might not. I don't know. I just want to be conservative when projecting out the potential sales. Ends up at $362 in profit, 263% ROI. That's a great card to get graded. As for the Leon Draisaitl and the Andrei Vasilevsky, as you saw, they did get numerical grades, which is massive for those cards. The backs were pretty damaged, so I knew that they probably weren't altered, otherwise, it just didn't look like it. And they actually were just a different size released, and it makes sense. It's consistent given that, another submission or someone else was submitting cards also got authentics on them too. So I'm happy that they got a relook at it and they checked out. Projecting some sales on them, they're kind of hard. They don't sell very often. I'm just guessing here. $1,500 on the SGC dry sale. That might be super low. Like, I'm kind of hoping to get more around the $2,000 range on that here pretty soon in the playoffs. We'll see. We'll update that in the future episode, but thinking around $270 in profit. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the 8.5, wasn't awesome. I was hoping for a 9. Clearly, the centering they thought was bad enough to give an 8.5, but a raw did sell for $800. I would not be surprised if the SGC 8.5 sells around the raw, so we marked down $800 there. $165 in profit. The Vasilevsky green put at $500. Figured probably about $100 in profit to get that thing to an 8.5, which is a good grade on PMGs. Tough grade. That's just like the Stamkos. And hopefully get like $100 in profit. Theo Porcher, That was a good grade on that for sure. SGC 9.5 F2 liter right now. That I think we can get around 150 in that, maybe a little bit more. Not many of those copies graded have came out yet, so maybe we can strike and get a quick sale on that and make like $50 in profit. Pure Gasly, that was a great buy. That we had a 56 in the orange out of 25. An orange wave recently sold for like 85, I think, and orange waves are not as sought after as the oranges out of 25, which is why we bought the orange out of 25, the true orange. And I'm thinking we can get around 125, maybe more on that for $39 in profit. Kai Havertz, immaculate. That was bought about a year ago when the soccer market was a lot higher. However, compared to recent sales, I think it's pretty safe to say, hopefully conservatively, this can get around $800 in a sale for like $20 in profit. Like I said, it's bought a long time ago, so it's probably is overpaid for it compared to now. But the SGC 9.5 for sure helped a lot. Tough grades in the immaculates. Take that all day. Now the Jordan Lawler, we got absolutely smacked on. The SGC 6 with the 10 auto. I'm still not exactly sure why it got the SGC 6. I look at the back, and that, the bump I was talking about was actually the serial number stamp showing through to the back. I doubt that made it get a lower grade. That wouldn't really make too much sense. I have to assume with the wave design on it, it's hard to see scratches. It's hard to see, scuffs. Maybe there's something on the surface we missed. There's obviously a pretty big flaw that's wrong with it, because small flaws, you can get a 9 and maybe a 9.5 if it's pretty tiny, and then an 8.5 if it's a little bit bigger. So the 6s, clearly there's something wrong with the card. But given that a PSA 6 of the Aqua Lava numbered out of 199 auto sold through PWCC a couple weeks ago for $400, I'm quite confident a better card in the Blue Wave auto of 150 can also sell for 400, even at SGC 6, based on how poor he's playing, or sorry, not poor, how well he is playing right now. The grade was poor. So I'm pretty confident that maybe it gets like 300. I don't really know, but all I can say is that it happens. Sometimes you grade a card, it gets smacked, and then you got to take the loss on the chin. But luckily, we're looking at all the cards above that, and the yield or netted profits is pretty good. And then looking at the last card here, that is the Portrait Hamilton Refractor that got an SGC 9. Not a bad grade. Paid way too much for that at the Las Vegas show, or the Mint Collective. Paid way too much for it. I should have known, non-numbered card. That's the math that we go with every single time. That's the method to pass on the non-numbered cards when they just get released. But something told me how hard they are to pull. Maybe I should do it and try to get graded and flip it. Just didn't work. It did not work at all. As you can tell, I spent less money on the gold out of 50, got a 9.5, and sold that for over $1,000. This card I knew we were going to take a pretty big loss on, so I decided to give it away on Whatnot during our Formula One massive break for the Miami Grand Prix. So end up with $0 on that $430 loss. We'll still count it in here. I'm not going to delete it off the list and try to say like, oh, it doesn't count because we gave it away. We're already going to lose a couple hundred or more dollars on it as it was. So if you look to the right here, this is not as good as it's been, in the past. Ended up around $1,000 in total profit. But I will say, there are a couple things here that we can learn from, that we can try to not make the same mistakes on. And in my mind, the mistakes not to make are buying the Lewis Hamilton, Portrait Refractor, like I just said, after releases, a couple weeks after, overpaid on it. They're selling for around 420 on eBay or 450 on eBay at the time. And I said, why not shoot at 400, see if we can grade it and flip it. Just did not work out. Another thing is, paying top dollar on those raw cards from the 90s or the early mid 2000s. While it seems like they might grade well at the time, maybe those are cards I don't have as much experience grading. And then again, back in their 8.5s, lose money on Donovan Mitchell. I was hoping to get a good grade on that one as well. It got a 9, didn't do as well. The auto was streaky. I should have passed on for that probably. So those are a couple of reasons, that we could have came out way ahead on this. And, in the end, you delete off the $430 giveaway on that, or just like blown thing. And it's 31% ROI, but I'm not going to escape that. Remember, because I did make the poor decision to buy that at the time for $400. I was happy to give it away to, at least make those losses feel better by helping someone else out and giving them the card. But in the end, that is how it turned out. And that is the finish of this SGC Slab Reveal number 3. It's another great time submitting to SGC. Please go to GoSGC.com to check out their website, learn about SGC grading, learn about the different service times. Fast, efficient, quick grading with great customer service, great turnaround times, great cost, all around a great product in my eyes. And we are having really good success, I'd say, in the categories that we're focusing on when buying and selling these. And also the Jordan Lawler, I know that it got a 6, so I can't say, oh, what if we got a 9 or got a 9.5? That's for sure going to result in profit. Nate had a great buy on that one. and we'll just have to, like I said, take it on the chin and move on. But that's what it's all about. I mean, it's about making mistakes along the way, learning from them, and then bettering it. And, you know, hopefully this next submission number 4 we submit, we say, wow, we were more selective with what we were sending, or we decided to pass on buying this and grading it too, instead of, you know, going a little bit step further and maybe buying that LeBron 08 Chrome base and everything. So like I said, that's how it goes. But, you know, learning a lot, doing pretty well in the midst of it as well. And I hope you all are learning too with us. Please drop a comment in the comment section of this video on what you liked, or maybe what you didn't like, or what you thought about the different cards we got back from SGC and how your journey is going as well. But that's all I've got for this episode of Slab Reveals number 3, and I'll talk to you in the next one.